Welcome to ForexTV.com. Today is Friday, January 2nd. I'm Kathleen Reddington with your New York Forex Market Buzz. The euro declines on the dollar after a poor manufacturing report. And now for a look at the latest headlines from the CEP News Desk. The U.S. manufacturing sector performed worse than expected in the final month of 2008. The ISM manufacturing survey fell to 32.4 in December, marking the lowest level in 28 years. The market consensus beforehand was for a reading of 35.4. The UK PMI for manufacturing unexpectedly rose to 34.9 in December from an all-time low of 34.5 in November, yet remained in a contraction. Economists had forecast a fall to 33.9. Eurozone manufacturers were hit hard in December. The Eurozone's final reading for the manufacturing PMI for December was revised down to an 11-year low of 33.9, despite expectations for no change to the original score of 34.5. Today we are joined by Esiner of Reusch International. Hi Omer, how are you today?
Good, thank you.
All right, so the dollar was lower after the negative ISM report. Do you think we'll finally see a return of currencies following releases and reports?
Well, I think it's still a little bit early to say so. I think we're still dealing with a good amount of risk aversion in the markets, and I think that's going to continue to be the case for the beginning months of 2009. So I think what we'll see is continued volatility throughout financial markets, and I think we're going to continue to see the dollar and other currencies really trade off of expectations for monetary policy and which of the remaining central banks that are not at zero interest rate will get down there. So I think that's going to continue to drive the market more so than specific economic releases.
Now, as we wrap up this holiday week here, what is your strategy for the dollar?
Well, again, these are very thin markets and it's difficult to trade, so I think remaining sidelined would probably be the best bet. It's still pretty choppy, and I think the lack of volume is partly why we saw the move on the heels of the ISM exacerbated. Again, it's really difficult trading conditions here in these thin markets.
All right, and we're anticipating the BOE and ECB moves on Thursday. What do you think we'll see from them?
Well, I think clearly from the Bank of England, we'll see another interest rate cut, a hefty interest rate cut, probably at least 50 basis points worth of policy easing from the Bank of England. Today's today's data out of the UK, I think, highlighted those expectations. We saw a steep drop in both mortgage approvals and in house prices in the UK. So I think clearly the Bank of England is poised for further aggressive policy tightening, at least 50 basis points.
All right, and how does this affect your euro and your pound strategies?
Well, I think the pound will continue to be biased lower. It'll probably be the worst performing currency of the G7 once again in 2009. I think the pace of the deterioration in the British economy continues to surprise most market participants, and I think that's going to keep the Bank of England biased towards further policy easing down the road. As far as the euro goes, we've seen them express a pretty resistant tone with regard to easing policy at an aggressive pace, and I think that's helped to underpin the euro over the last couple of weeks. Going forward, I think the outlook for the Eurozone economy is just as bleak, and I think the ECB will probably be forced to play catch-up in terms of policy easing, and I think in the end that will lead to further euro losses in the months ahead as well.
All right, Omer, thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
This has been your New York Forex Market Buzz with Esiner of Reusch International. I'm Kathleen Reddington. Join us later this afternoon, 4 p.m. exchange, right here on ForexTV.com.